I think a big part of that idea of making the metaverse accessible in K-12 and making it accessible to teachers, a big part of that is hardware too, right? If you guys have special proprietary headsets that only work for, your metaverse and schools have to buy it and it's expensive, you're not going to get the implementation you want. But in your case, you made the Eduverse accessible on wide variety of VR headsets, laptops, tablets, Chromebooks, and phones. So how much was sort of this kind of universal device accessibility central to what you guys are trying to do with the Eduverse?
It was actually very central. It was really important. And a lot of this came out of our work during the COVID years. Okay. As you said, we were a turnkey solution with our Class VR offering, meaning we built that management software on the back end. And at the very end of all of that, we said, we could really make this simple for people by having secure hardware as well. And that's our Class VR headset, which is still what a lot of people know us for. But as we were going into COVID, as we were dealing with students that were not on school campuses, as we were looking at the fact that nobody wanted to really put things on their face when you're passing around, the COVID virus and things like that. So there were challenges that came out of that, and we initially created a little application called VR Room. So if I can just dig into this a little bit, we determined that one of the big things that students were missing when they were away from schools was the ability to have that social interaction and social engagement. I mentioned a previous video sort of conferencing software that a lot of schools used during this time. It kind of rhymes with Vroom, which is what we called ours. But the number one fall down was people hated the camera. The students at home didn't want people to see what their rooms looked like. They didn't want people to see their dog walking in the background. The teachers didn't like the cameras either, but they had to be there. It was a necessary thing to be able to show that the students were actively engaged. So we thought, could we build something in this virtual world and make it free, purely for a way for teachers to get together with students, but the students are represented by avatars instead. And that was a free offering that we came out with, said we'll create something like a playground or a spaceship or a beach where students can join in. They have voice over IP so they can talk to each other. They have positional audio. So if my avatar is next to yours, it's very loud. If I'm on the other side of the beach, you can maybe hear a murmur, but not hear me clearly. And then we said, this is really cool. Let's actually look at this from an educational perspective now. And that brought about a product of ours called Avantis World, which was the world's first virtual reality education theme park, where instead of just being in a gymnasium, what if we were able to put all the students simultaneously with their avatars and the teachers walking through the Valley of the Dinosaurs, or on the bus with Rosa Parks, or in the middle of a Civil War battlefield, or on the surface of the moon? All of these things then became opportunities for us to create these scenes, these explorable scenes that allowed us to take and apply pedagogical literacy towards this technological delivery method. And that was Avantis World. What we've done now is we said all of those things can be done with any device with a browser. It does not require our headsets. It works for everyone's headset. It works for everyone's Chromebook, as you said, laptop, phone, makes no difference. Doesn't matter where you're located in the world. You can have real-time interaction as long as it's initiated by the teacher. And that's where we start to put those guardrails up to protect the Eduverse versus the metaverse.